Welcome back to the Racing Preview here for Los Alamitos Race Course. Saturday night, 10 races. The entries are out. The handicapping is done. And now I'm bringing back Christopher Wade here to start the show. Chris, how you doing here on this, Thursday afternoon?
We're doing okay. We're doing okay. Numbers are looking pretty good for this coming weekend. We got some good ones. So hopefully we'll cash a couple of our tickets. We had our Chris Picks Daily Double last week. We had our prize play win and with that CC Perkinson, and then our best bet won a little bit later. So we got the Chris Picks Daily Double. I got to do a little white boy shuffle in the winner circle. Not a pretty thing, but it's fun.
Hey, anytime you can cash any kind of bet to get the night going, it's a good night indeed. All right, taking a look here at the Saturday program, 10 races on the card. The featured event will be the Plan Overnight Handicap and race number 10. But tell me, what race and what horse do you want to take a look at for this weekend?
Okay, I'm looking at race number 6, a second-time starter, Mr. Cosmopolitan NR for Jose Flores. Solid barn, and very good with the babies. He had like 18% with the babies. Jockey-trainer combination is 16%. This horse was a B worker in part of that debut. And then the debut got beat a neck. Did run 5th, beat a neck for the whole thing, but had enough trouble. And the inexperience cost this good-looking runner. This horse got a little fractious in the gate, broke a little slow, head cocked sideways, is running in and out throughout. This horse was trying to run in. It was very, very hard to ride. Like I said, got a little fractious in the gate prior, and broke okay, showed some decent speed, but was running a little head cocked sideways after bumping away from the gate. Was out there near the front end every single step of the way, but continued to try to lug in, as noted by there. A couple baby love taps left-handed, try to keep this horse straight. But still, near the wire, the horse was still trying to get in. And still a very solid performance, galloped out pretty well. So I think this was a big chance. Drawn well to the outside, and second lifetime start will definitely move forward in this horse's second lifetime start, the 6, Mr. Cosmopolitan NR in race number 6.
Yeah, he had a pretty good effort, despite getting kind of a little nervous in the gate, and also you can see like the rider was just trying to keep him as straight as possible. So it's not like he had an opportunity to really level out and show some of that late kick there. But given that he only got beat about a neck, I thought it was an ultra game effort. It was a blanket finish for the win, but that might be the race that kind of gets him to kind of figure things out. And now he gets the outside post. So 12:30 workout, like you mentioned prior to that debut effort, that was a pretty solid workout. And I think the outside post now having a wide path is probably going to be a very positive thing for this 2-year-old gelding.
Yeah, really, this horse is going to improve immensely and draw nicely to the outside. And the horse's figures off that debut on my numbers, with everything factored in, trouble track variant, the horse's figures are right there with a one best card special and hitters up. And they have more experience, so with expected improvement moving forward, this horse should be right there and early and late at 7-2 on the morning line.
All right, that's Chris's pick for Saturday night, race 6. The 6-horse, Mr. Cosmopolitan NR, pretty easy to remember. Race 6, number 6. Before I let you go, it is Labor Day weekend, and us that we follow the sport of quarter horse racing, we know that this is the big weekend down at the mountain, down at Ruidoso. They have the Futurity, the Derby, and lots of more stakes events this weekend there to close out their season. Earlier in the weeks beforehand, you kind of taught us to keep an eye on a very talented runner by the name of Impressum. Well, that runner is looking to be a very nice favorite there in these finals.
Yeah, that horse figures tough. I was my top pick in the horse's last effort, and figures really tough in the Derby on Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, anything that you can look ahead for the Futurity? Any horses that kind of come to mind of the favorites going in that race?
Yeah, I can't remember the horse's name, but the horse is like undefeated this season. Is a monster horse, and figures tough. He'll be the favorite, and the favorite should be tough in both finals, the Derby and the Futurity. Actually,
by the power of technology, I have the DRF PPs handy. Shout out to DRF. The Gold Cup there, race 9. Race 10 is going to be the Juvenile. By the way, the Juvenile features runners like Chisholm, who we saw here in the Edberg Millen Futurity, and Hot Pursuit, who's a 3-2 favorite, who ran second in the Edberg. So some familiar horses, in the 10th race. But then the All-American Futurity, 440 yards, race 11. You can see towards the bottom of the field is Just Savin Candy, 4-5, 7-5 on the morning line there. A winner of the Rainbow and a winner of the Ruidoso.
Yeah, he's looking for the Triple Crown, and I think he has a heck of a chance to accomplish that.
Yeah, he's drawn well there in gate number 7. So, and Cat Eye Kylie, a local runner that we saw get the maiden diploma here at Los Al, qualified with an impressive trial win there. 10-1, Ramon Sanchez, Todd Fincher there teaming up on the outside. So that's a little bit of a preview there of what's to come at Ruidoso down at the mountain for their Labor Day weekend closing extravaganza. Again, reminder this week, Chris, you're going with race 6, number 6, Mr. Cosmopolitan. Well, that's going to be a tough name for Michael Wrona to repeat during a race call. Mr. Cosmopolitan in race number 6 from gate 6. Chris, thanks so much for your insight and looking forward to this week here at Los Al.
You have a good night.
See you.
The Los Alamitos Equine Sale, showcasing the finest quarter horse racing lines in the sport. Its graduates include many great champions, $1 million futurity winners, and recent major graded stakes winners. Find your next champion and major stakes winner at the Los Alamitos Equine Sale October 2nd and 3rd. For more, visit LosAlamitoSEquineSale.com.
Well, it's almost time for the horse buyers to almost find their champion at the Los Alamitos Equine Sale. Well, now it's time for us to try to find our winner for Saturday night. Mike Wrona, welcome back to the program. And kind of was previewing at what race you kind of sent over for us to review. And there's some interesting parallels that you mentioned here with a couple of runners in race number 7.
Yeah, g'day, Jose. This is a maiden race that will start the late pick 4, and I found it quite an interesting race. The morning line favourite is number 4, Molly's Reason, and the horse has run twice, but not in the last 4 months. Hasn't really set the world on fire, although there's a nice gate work coming into this. I was just inclined to think that horses drawn either side of Molly's Reason at slightly better odds on the morning line might be the form line that interests me the most. They actually come out of the same race a month ago, number 3 Mason Jar and number 5 Always in Front. And not only that, Jose, but in their 2 previous races, they contested the same futurity trials. Different races on the same night, but the Edberg Million Futurity and the Governor's Cup Futurity, they were in different trials of that race. So they're almost following each other through this campaign, Mason Jar and Always in Front. And they're the second and third choices on Ed Burgart's morning line.
I'm going to review this replay, rewind it just a bit. And yeah, I find it interesting that they faced off on August 7th, they faced off on July 10th, and they faced off on May 30th. So a little bit of a parallel for this horses. At this point, they probably kind of know each other, Michael. They're standing in the gate, like, hey, buddy, I saw you.
Well, they know each other very well because they were drawn alongside each other here, gates 2 and 3, or as they're underneath the numbers 3 and 4, because there was a scratch, and they collide at the start. They bump, and the number 2 is Mason Jar, the number 2 post position, and Always in Front actually had a worse trip, got multiple bumps, and then you can see getting squeezed out in those yellow colours, ends up running about 5th. A hole sort of closed, and it got very tight for Always in Front about the 8th pole. Maybe we can even run this again if you've got a chance to, because there's a little bit to take in with both horses. So underneath the number 3 post position is Mason Jar, but it's actually gate 2. And underneath the number 4 post position is Always in Front. There's a bump for Mason Jar into Always in Front, but then Always in Front gets a multiple bump and a squeeze right out of it. But look, what I like here is Mason Jar stretching out strongly in the last little bit. The rail horse was on debut and was a subsequent winner, Burn and Dream. So it's a good, strong form line. Mason Jar only finished a neck or so behind Burn and Dream, who came out to win again. Look, I actually gave myself fits trying to decide which of the 2 to pick. I wish I could make a bracket selection because I think they both have a really good chance to beat Molly's Reason. And if I were playing multi-race wagers, I would use both Mason Jar number 3 and Always in Front number 5. Always in Front has the same jockey each start, including this coming weekend, Oscar Peinado. So there's consistency in the saddle, whereas there's a new rider on Mason Jar. Mm-hmm. Always in Front was only about 3-1 in that race a month ago, whereas Mason Jar was about 11-1. And now they're similar odds, and Always in Front had the worst trip. And that normally would lead me to think that Always in Front is worth supporting. But I'll tell you why I've pivoted to Mason Jar. Orlando did an interview with Adan Farias in the days leading up to that race a month ago. And I was very interested to hear Farias talk about some finicky eating issues and just keeping the weight on Mason Jar. And he's always really held her in high regard and had good expectations for the filly, and she hasn't quite come round yet. But she was eating well leading up to the most recent race. It was an improved effort. I just feel like Always in Front is more of a plateau performer, whereas Mason Jar, I can still see a potential upward spike in her performances because she cost 30-something thousand as a yearling. She started favourite on debut in a race that was won by a nice horse. And I just think that somehow Mason Jar might only just be coming into her own. And that's the reason that I've pivoted her way. But, you know, if Always in Front wins, I'll be second guessing myself. And if the favourite Molly's Reason wins, this has been a hell of a long discourse for Noah. If the 3 and the 5 are struggling home third and fourth or something, then I've wasted a fair bit of airtime. But I just think the 3 and the 5 are the two horses with this form line. And through those futurity trials, there's some really nice horses, some good solid horses that have finished in front of them. They appeal to me more than Molly's Reason as the morning line favourite.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting race there, race number 7, because that is the start of the late pick 4. I think the final odds at post time are going to be very tight. I think the money's going to be evenly spread out. But like you mentioned, it might come down to which of those 2 runners you get a better price at post time, because if you kind of like, that's where if you know, that's the benefit of being a better on track versus trying to put up selection days in advance, where you might not be getting that price that you wanted, and the other horse that you kind of like as well is a much better price. That's where you kind of pivot there. You have the opportunity to kind of take the better price of those 2 horses that you like. But I think it's a very interesting maiden event. Mason Jar, who, like you mentioned, once upon a time began as a debut betting favorite and has now not really panned out up to then, but now is starting to figure things out. So Mason Jar might now be trending in the right direction. Michael, thanks so much for the insight. And I feel like last week it was the week of photo finishes. So many photos we had last week, Michael, left and right, thoroughbreds, quarter horses, you name it. They made you sweat up in the booth. They made you work up in the booth, that's for sure.
Yeah, and the placing judges were working overtime too.
That is for sure. All right, Michael, thanks for the insight, and we'll see you out there this weekend.
Good on you, mate. Hooroo.
See you.
The Southern California Thoroughbred Racing Circuit is back at Los Alamitos with the LA County Fair Meet. Opening day is Friday, September 10th. 5 stakes races highlight the meet, led by the Los Alamitos Special on Sunday, September 19th. That weekend will also feature an on-track live money handicapping contest on Saturday, September 18th. You could win a trip to the 2022 NHC. The LA County Fair Meet is back at Los Alamitos. Opening day is Friday, September 10th. For more, visit losalamitos.com.
Welcome back to the program, and now joined by Orlando Gutierrez. Professor G, we just saw the commercial there. The daytime season, the LA County Fair season at Los Alamitos is coming up soon here in just a couple of short weeks.
That's right, Jose. Friday, September 10th, we'll have daytime thoroughbred racing here at Los Alamitos, and of course, doubleheader Saturdays and Sundays. On Saturday, we will have the running of the Beverly Lewis during the daytime. That's one of 5 stakes races that we will have during the thoroughbred meet. The main event during that meet will be the Los Alamitos Special there on the 19th, September 19th. And I got to remind handicappers, horse players, we will have a handicapping contest versus to the 2022 NHC. That will be on September the 18th. And Jose, a familiar face that we have playing those contests, Jose Arias, finished second in the recently concluded NHC. I hope that he's here for September 18th as he looks to secure a berth to go back to Las Vegas next year. So we always have a lot of fun during those contests. We always have a lot of fun during those meets. Looking forward for it all to begin on Friday, September 18th here. Make that Friday, September 10th here at Los Alamitos.
Yeah, Jose Arias is a regular there in our contest there in the daytime during the daytime seasons. He had a tremendous showing at the NHC there this past week, and a good spot for the horse players to visit and enjoy the races is that spot where you're right now, Orlando. That's Burgart's right behind you.
Yeah, I just had to show off this beautiful, beautiful room. It's a little bit it's still freshly new. It's a little bit over a year old. We inaugurated it during the winter time, right before Ed Burgart retired. This, of course, is Burgart's, named after the legendary track announcer, the GOAT of track announcers in quarter horse racing, Ed Burgart. You've been here hanging out with us, knocking a few back. And right now we're still have some Del Mar action going on. The program is wrapping up, so you might hear some cheering, of course, from horse players as that race goes on. So you'll see that in the background here. And just a beautiful place. We got some pool tables there right behind me back here that people can enjoy some action. You have all these beautiful high-definition televisions here during Burgart's, all the top races, all the top tracks going on, and, of course, the bar, that nice bar back there. And football season's coming up, so a great place to catch the sports action, catch the horse racing action, and, of course, enjoy the live racing here at Burgart's.
Since you mentioned football, how you feel about your Miami Dolphins this season? How you feel?
I love them. I love
really?
them right now. I think they have such a good squad, a good young upcoming squad. So it's been a long time. I'm a long time suffering Dolphins fans. But, I still remember the good old days, Dan Marino, Mark Clayton, Mark Duper, and so many greats. We had some good defensive teams over the years, and I'm looking forward to this squad. I think it's a pretty solid overall team.
So I might need to go to Vegas and do an over-season win totals on the Dolphins, given Professor G's confidence there on this year's squad there. All right, we're going to work our way from the start all the way to the 10th event, which will be the Plan Handicap. We have a couple of horses to take a look at there. But let's work our way with the beginning of the program. Who were you able to catch up with there in race number 1?
Yeah, we were fortunate enough to touch base with Martin Valenzuela Jr. The Valenzuela name, just a historic name here in Southern California racing. He's got a horse by the name of Bad Kitty, horse number 3 in race number 1, 5-2 in the morning line. Bad Kitty, horse that I believe is a pretty improving horse. Has a nice connection, Martin Valenzuela, with jockey Edward Rojas Fernandez, and Edward Rojas just a solid jockey. Very experienced. He knows what he's doing on horses. And I think number 3, Bad Kitty, will be a solid horse. Last out, Jose?
Yeah, last out, August 15th there. He was in gate 4 in this field of 6. And Edward has been aboard all 4 of her starts. In this race, she was able to press the pace, Orlando. And she put up a game effort there, only missing by about 3/4 of a length.
Yeah, and this horse is showing a lot of nice speed. 2 outs ago was on the lead and just came up a little bit short. Martin will tell us a little bit about those races. But as you can see, the horse right there, like you mentioned, very involved in the action and just missed last out. But again, the key, I think, is Edward Quinez-Roa has been working with this horse, knows this horse well. And I think in this field fits nicely. There is a shipper coming in from Del Mar, the Roan Ranger, for trainer David Bernstein, coming off of some, kind of a well-beaten finish last out. But we've seen some of those horses from Del Mar that come back after finishing 7th or 8th, and they deliver some nice efforts here at Los Alamitos. So it's an interesting race, and looking forward to seeing Bad Kitty. And I know Martin Valenzuela Jr. very much looking forward to seeing his horse run.
Let's catch up there with Martin Valenzuela Jr. talking about Bad Kitty in the morning.
And we're here with trainer Martin Valenzuela. The first race on Saturday night features one of your runners, Bad Kitty. But she's been pretty good the last few starts. Tell us about her progress, starting with that first race where she ran during the daytime meet here at Los Al.
Well, the day we debuted her, she broke bad. She hit the side of the gate, got the dirt in her face, and just a bad experience for her. And she was a little green, and so we brought her back at 1,000 yards. We worked on her a little bit. She improved. She ran a great third. I got to give credit to our jockey, Eduardo Rojas. which never lost faith in her and kept telling me, you know, she's got talent, she's still learning, which I fully agree with. And then, you know, she ran second after that. We just got caught at the wire, but I think it was due to her being immature and still learning the game.
You shared with me prior to going live here that you schooled her this morning. Can you share a little bit more about it?
Well, we schooled her. We've been schooling her basically all week in the paddock. She got a little warm last time she ran, which was the first time she'd done that to us. And but she's been schooling perfect, so I expect her to behave in the paddock and, you know, and put up a good race again.
And she's owned by Special Connections.
Well, she's owned by a friend of mine named Clay Sides. He lives in Fallbrook. He's been a horse owner over 30, 40 years. I don't want to make him sound old, but we've been childhood friends. My father trained for his father, and when I went out on my own and he got his law practice going, he's had horses with me for basically almost 30 years. So he's a special friend. I love the guy like he's my brother, and I hope we can do him proud and win him a race.
Well, best of luck on Saturday. Bad Kitty, we'll be taking a close look at her on Saturday night. Thanks so much, Martin.
Thank you.
There was a Martin Valenzuela Jr. Pretty cool to see that he mentioned that childhood friend there, Clay Sides and the family there. His dad trained for his dad. Now he's training for him, and they've kept that tradition alive. They've been childhood friends, and Martin said that Edward told him, "Don't worry, this horse still has talent," and she showed up with two very good efforts after that. After that pretty much non-factor event over the daytime, but it looks like now she's trending in the right direction.
And I think one of those things that I really enjoy listening to Martin talk is just that background history, like you mentioned. Yeah. And when you talk about, to several trainers about horses, and it could be a $2,500 claimer or it could be a millionaire, but all those individual horses have, a special story, a special connection that just unites that trainer with the horse. Could be with the jockey, with the owners. And that just makes it so much fun to learn about these horses, get to know their personality a lot better. And, sometimes you just can't help to root for connections.
Yeah, so that's going to be Martin Valenzuela with Bad Kitty in race number 1. They will have the likes of the Roan Ranger for David Bernstein and Edgar Payeras, the class dropper. And even a runner like Flying Charlie, who came flying after a bad start last time out. Didn't have enough early speed, but did finish with good entries there. That's going to be a competitive there, race number 1 to be in the program on Saturday night. Race number 2, we have Allowance, 1,000 yards. Interesting group here, like the likes of Ban Slammer, who's looking for third in a row. Then Mongra on the outside. But you were able to catch up with Jerry Wallace with Polar, that beautiful gray there in gate number 3.
Yeah, if you remember, Jose, a few weeks ago, Jerry told me, man,
I was all in, Orlando. That was the pick 6 carryover day. Remember, I was like, I'm all in on Polar. I'm going.
Yeah. And Polar did. Polar went. And Jerry told us he did what I told him he was going to do. I just didn't know he was going to stop,
That's it.
But that's what happened. So he says that, he learned a lot from that last outing. And, now I think he's got him a little bit sharper for the 1,000-yard distance.
Yeah, let's catch up with Jerry Wallace talking about his gray here, Polar.
And we're here with trainer Jerry Wallace. You have a horse named Polar in race number 2, Jerry. And last time the horse ran, you were confident that he was going to go to the front and let them catch you. Now, second time out, a little bit different approach, or what have you learned after that horse's last start?
Well, they did catch us last time. We ran pretty much what we were prepared for. He had a couple half-mile works, and that's what he ran. He ran a half a mile. So I think that race ought to move him up a little bit. He ought to finish a little better this time, and we've worked him since then. He worked really good. 36, had a bullet last week. He just went to the gate today, stood really good. He's acting real nice, and I think he'll be super tough. He should be able to get that extra distance now that he's got that race under his belt.
And you look at the race overall, how do you see the action shaping up?
I think it'll be the same as last time. This horse really likes the lead. He's very quick, turn a foot in the opening quarter, so they'll have to catch him. Kenny Benny, it looks like his competition in there, and he drew the rail, so I was kind of happy to see that. But I think we've got a real good chance.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
Okay, Orlando, that was Jerry Wallace there talking about his gray. he kind of said, all right, we got the lead, but he just didn't have the stamina to go on by. Now that he feels that after having that race under his belt, he might be a bit sharper this time around and might be able to take him all the way.
Yeah, he thought Kenny Benny is a horse that will be pretty tough to beat in race number 2. I thought number 2 on Throttle is an interesting contender there. Milton, Cowboy Pineda, Francisco Orduña Rojas, solid connections. And right there, here we see Polar, that great horse with those red silks of Jerry Wallace, the yellow and blue striped sleeves. And there he is. He told us, he's gonna go to the front and let them catch me.
Yes,
he just wasn't counting that they would.
Yeah, I know. He broke well, but he didn't break rapid fast. I think he can break faster than what he did last time out. So he wasn't able to open up a huge early lead. And kind of at the top of the stretch, you can see he kind of was shortening strides already, but he didn't completely give way. He was still hanging in there into deep stretch, and that's when he kind of got past there in the final yards. So it wasn't like he was completely coming to a stop, but he did look like a horse that might improve second time out there off the long layoff.
Yeah, and that experience, Jerry Wallace, just getting to know how his horse is going to perform at 1,000 yards, just getting to know him a little bit better. He gave him a little bit of a speed sharpening work out, so it'll be interesting to see. I think the strategy will be the same. Just get him to the front and see if he can hold off. But like I was mentioning before, Kenny Benny is an experienced runner. Yeah. These are horses that have just not won at 1,000 yards, but they are pretty solid contenders. Number 2 on Throttled, he's 5-2. He's a horse that I'm putting in as one of my top 3 picks. And what about the 4, Prince Ricky? This horse that we talked about, and we talked to Sergio Morfin last time out, and the horse ended up getting scratched. Now Sergio has him in the barn a little bit longer. We'll see what he's done with the horse now that he's coming back for a race.
Yeah, and talking about other runners in this group, I'm going to look at a horse at the outside. That's Debmonger for Andy Aquino. Take a look at this replay there from August 15th, Orlando. He is going to be in gate 5 in this field of 6. So gate 5, Gedmonger, a little bit of a bobble, gets bumped there actually pretty solidly with the 4 in that race. And at this point, the horse that clears on the outside, that is Captain and Baron. We know he's speedy. He was able to kind of open up his own comfortable lead. In the meantime, now Debmonger's starting to recover from that bumping. He's going to move into a pretty good second here, approaching the turn, but he was not able to catch the speed of Captain and Baron, who had a pretty comfortable pace there on the front end. But I like that Debmonger still kept trying. He didn't completely quit. He kept reaching. He was just second best that night. And I thought overall it was a pretty game effort, given that it was a little bit of a troubled start there. But he was trying every step of the way. And I think drawn tonight on the outside post here in gate 6, I like the chances for Debmonger. Yeah,
and just from watching Barrington Harvey, the rider on Debmonger, you can see how hard he's working there.
Yeah.
So, that's one thing that you can count on. Barrington Harvey is going to give just a solid ride.
Yeah.
He's done extremely well with Angela Aquino trained horses. In the price as well, Jose, number 6, Debmonger, 6-1. So if you get this one, Jose, that's going to be a nice little score and a nice win in the middle of that early pick 4.
Well, my long shot of the night last weekend completed the exacta, and this is going to be my long shot of the night as well for Saturday night, Debmonger with the outside post. So that's a look at race number 2. Race number 3, 1,000 yards, maiden event. It looks like Above the Line, Quiet Forest for Richard Rosales are going to dominate the wagering there in that race number 3. Race number 4, we have a nice interview with the barn of Old Jerry, Adriana Vallejo, Francisco Vallejo, the father of Adriana and the assistant trainer there. So for the Spanish-speaking audience, you can catch our Spanish section of the show. I'm showing right now a little bit of a B-roll there of Old Jerry in the barn, Orlando. Interesting that Francisco mentioned he's a pretty calm horse. He knows what his job is. He likes to relax when he's not racing. And boy, he been impressive here at nighttime.
Look at all those ones on those performances. 7 straight victories here at Los Alamitos. loves the 1,000-yard distance, and he's such a cool horse. As soon as he heard me talking to Francisco Vallejo, he stuck his head out and he wanted to know what is going on. I want a piece of this. Is there a camera around? I'm used to getting my photo taken. Hey, hello, come talk to me, come say hi to me.
Yeah, Jerry there. If you used your online to that Golden Gate race, look at all those ones. The only horse to beat him at Los Al was Restoring Greens back in October of last year of 2020. But he's so fast out of the gate that it should be no surprise what they're going to try to do. They're going to try to take them all the way once again with this group. And I'm interested in Rinse and Repeat. Rinse and Repeat finished second, Jerry, with big strides there on July 18th. And he had a little bit of a troubled trip. He might be a big threat if he gets out to a cleaner start here under Edgar Pierres.
And Jose, Rinse and Repeat, he still has the track record for a thoroughbred at 1,000 yards.
Yeah.
52.03. Oh, excuse me, even faster than that. 51.76. And he also has on the sheet 52.03. So when this horse is on his game, he can definitely fly Rinse and Repeat.
Yeah, and since we have a little bit of time, I'm going to show up that replay there most recently where they both met each other. That was July 18th here at Los Alamitos. And that was race number 8. So race number 8, Rinse and Repeat, and Old Jerry duking it out here. Old Jerry was towards the outside in the scratch down field of 4. So Old Jerry from the outside is going to break fast like he can, like he usually does.
Yep.
And there is a Rinse and Repeat there, a little bit sluggish there to get going, but he's going to finish with big strides here in this field of 4. He's in saddle cloth number 3. So Old Jerry's off to the races. This is a speed ball. He likes to go to the front. But watch Rinse and Repeat. He makes a very strong late kick here to get up for the exacta.
And, there'll be nothing more than Lorenzo Ruiz's crew would love than to beat Jerry. They finished second to him, I can see, at least 3 times.
Yes.
But like you mentioned, he did get that one win, that one finish ahead of him that you mentioned. But, man, Rinse and Repeat, this is a nice little rivalry. It's been dominated by Jerry recently, but he's always giving it his all, always brings his top game when he's facing the very, very difficult Jerry, just a winning machine here at Los Al. And this race also has another runner that's on a nice win streak, Jose. That would be Capture.The.
Yes.
For the barn of.
Can he do it again? Can he do it again, Orlando?
We'll see. That Dan Wells, he's an owner, like I mentioned, that it's great to see him involved in the game. He is the son of quarter horse owner and breeder Martha Wells. And Dan Wells, he's claiming a few thoroughbreds. He's having some fun with the runners. He loves his stallion, quarter horse stallion, Tel Cartel. But he's found a nice little runner in number 5, Capture.The, and he's going to look to score a bit of an upset here against the outstanding Jerry.
And
7-2, Capture.The.
Has won 5 in a row, has won from different barns, had done it at different levels, has done it with different riders, but the common denominator, he's been favored in each one of those 5 wins. He's not going to be favored. He's not going to be favored this Saturday night, but he's in racing sharp form there for Matt Fells and Edward Rojas. Let's take a quick timeout. When we come back, we'll start catching up on the quarter horse section there of Saturday night's program from Los Al.
Champion Sire Favorite Cartel continues to produce stakes horses, including a 1-2-3 finish in the Governor's Cup Derby.
Favorite Colossus in a photo finish. Favorite Colossus.
Circle City and Full Brother Nomadic dominated the Spencer Childers, and Favorite Cartel has 5 qualifiers for All-American Weekend.
Cat Eye Kylie in from Los Al. Nice run.
Make plans to let Favorite Cartel elevate your game. Contact Burns Ranch today.
All right, Orlando, moving on to the quarter horse portion of the program. We talked about race 6 with Christopher Wade, preview there, Mr. Cosmopolitan NR. Mike Wrona joined us to talk about race number 7, but there's plenty of options to go in race number 7. That's exactly what Mike Wrona and I were talking about, that it was a tricky race to begin the late pick 4 sequence on Saturday. But one runner that I think could be sharp, and you think could be sharp as well, How about Molly's Reason? Out of that mare 5-bar Molly, which makes this one a sibling to 5-bar Cartel, that Millionaire.
The Millionaire, the sire, just good reason SA.
Yeah.
Champion of Champions winner, a 2 million winner. This horse is extremely well bred, Jose, and lightly raced. Only has 2 starts, coming off of a little bit of a break. Has not raced since May. Did have a workout for this race, so and I think we have that as part of our online presence, losalamitos.com. It's one of the gate works there, and if we have a chance, Jose, I'd love to see that work again.
So here's the workout, Orlando, for Molly's Reason. This workout kind of picked her up a few strides out of the gate there, but she's going to be working in 12:30 on August 21st there. We talked about the breeding. A good improvement from the first race to the second race, and I like how she was striding there through the finish line. Good energy, good strides, and she really she looks like a runner that is starting to figure things out now, and I think she might be ready to go here off the brief layoff.
Yeah, you saw her angling just a little bit to an inside path, but she settled into a nice stride, was tapped once, then flagged right-handed, and she just responded with a really nice finish. And, still was angling inside as she crossed the wire, but just look at that quickness that she's displaying around this turn. They gear her down a little bit around right here, but you can totally see how, the athleticism that she has, and I think the potential that this runner can have. The longer distances, good reason SA was just a dynamite horse at 400 yards. 5-bar Molly won the Millie Vessels, was a champion mare, so that horse can definitely go the longer distances. So I think Molly's Reason, it's just a matter of learning her job, just getting comfortable out there on the track, and I think she could be a pretty solid contender. Look at all those symbols next to her name. That means that the connections have a lot of confidence in her. She's eligible to the Los Alamitos Oaks, the 2 million, the Los Alamitos Super Derby. They know that this horse, with time, will develop into a potential runner at those distances, the longer distances, 400 yards.
Yeah, she's lightly raced. We saw that improved work. She ran into a very sensational Chisholm first time out. Chisholm will see him racing at Ruidoso there this Labor Day weekend. Lethal Blood last time out.
Yeah, he was up there among the top qualifiers for a long time.
Mm-hmm. He'll be running the Constellation there, and All-American Juvenile, I believe Chisholm will later this weekend at Ruidoso. So that's a look at Molly's Reason and the workout. She's making a first start since May 9th there for Jesus Nunez, owner Eric Flores, bred by Esmeralda Flores. Race number 8 there, a 110-yard maiden claiming event. Field of 6, kind of glanced over that race.
Because anything can happen in that race.
Yes.
You have the 6-1 Sweet Allison, who's the big favorite.
Yes.
But it's a 110-yard race. All you need is a good start, and anybody could win.
I'm in total agreement. I mean, when you have a 10-time maiden as the morning line favorite, that might be a race where it could be very, very interesting, given the lightly raced resumes of a few of these other runners there in race number 8. But let's look ahead for race number 9. Nice allowance event, Orlando. This is the start of the late double, one of my favorite times of the night. Race number 9, 300 yards, allowance, good competitive field here. Field of 8, but all eyes will be on Squidward. Squidward, who comes back from Remington Park, Oklahoma. We have a nice interview with Valentin Zamudio en Español in our Spanish section of the program. But Squidward back in the barn of Valentin Zamudio, Orlando. Very good. He actually began the 3-year-old season in very solid form, qualifying to the Oklahoma Derby and finishing third at 28-1 that night. But his last 2 races were against older runners, and he didn't fire at all. So time off, it looks like he's back to the track where he might be returned back to top form.
Yeah, but you have to remember, Jose, in that last out, look at the comment for Squidward. Sandwich, pinballed. That doesn't sound too good.
No.
That both of those things are happening to him. Not only did he get squashed by both sides, then he's bouncing around. So you can kind of and look, he still ran 4th.
Yes.
So a pretty solid effort from number 6 Squidward. When you put that into mind, Governor's Cup Futurity run it up last year to his half brother constituent.
That is correct.
Performed solidly throughout here at Los Alamitos. ran third in the Oklahoma Derby. That's a $250,000 race. And you can see on his form as well, 5 top 3 finishes from 11 starts. Still a little bit shy from $100,000 in earnings, but he'll be looking to get closer to that amount here in Saturday's 9th race.
Yeah, and his most impressive win was at this distance of 300 yards back on June 5th there last year when getting the maiden diploma. One of the main threats are going to be probably Heatedly and More Than Looks, drawn towards the outside Orlando. Heatedly, tough effort, tough trip there against the Stakes Company last time out on California Breeders' Weekend there. Prior to that, pretty game allowance win, good clocking, good start, good gate speed there, and it was under Henry Lopez that night.
Yeah. Heatedly, we've seen that she's just a hard knocker, solid performer. But I love number 8, More Than Looks, half sister to He Looks Hot, Once Over, all those really good horses out of Look Her Over. And I just love the way she's come back in 2021. Just solid performance after solid performance here at Los Alamitos. Impressive maiden win, comes back and starts 5th last out and ends up winning by a neck. I loved her on that night, and I think she'll be one of those horses that just keeps getting better for Ed Allred and trainer Scott Willoughby.
Yeah, and let's take a look at that win. Actually, we have some time here to show that replay of More Than Looks. More Than Looks was in this allowance event back on August 15th. She's going to be in gate 3 in this field of 6, Orlando. And she breaks well there from gate 3, clean start, has a little bit of a path there to run. Midway through the race, it looked like the 6 was going to control this race. And watch how nicely More Than Looks surges there in the final yards.
Just a tremendous finish. And she was moving around a little bit before the gates opened.
Yes.
The gates opened. She broke just a step behind. She was kind of lucky that the racing path did not get shut off and then just came flying. She was able to clear, find a good running path. And I don't know if you can hear it, but the Del Mar's race number 8 on Thursday is happening right now. So some excited fans here at Burghart's enjoying the racing action. I enjoyed this win a lot here for More Than Looks. We'll see if there's more to come from her on a Saturday night.
Yeah, she's definitely going to be one of the main contenders there in race number 9. That is allowance event there to begin the late double there with Squidward making his return to LaSalle now as a 3-year-old. Looking ahead to tonight's featured event, Orlando, that is going to be race number 10 tonight, the Plan Overnight Handicap. This is for the 2-year-olds going a distance of 350 yards, $15,000 purse. But this is the time of the year, Orlando, where we start seeing these intermountain horses come to town because they have their eyes set on those trials for the Wild West Futurity.
Yeah, in order to be eligible to the Wild West Futurity, you need to have made some starts in the Intermountain region, in the Northwest, Nevada, Arizona, or in Canada. So a lot of these horses, you'll see that they're coming in from Turf Paradise, Pocatello Downs, Jerome, Grants Pass. In CM Blue Bayou, it's an interesting horse because he began here at Los Alamitos and then went to Grants Pass to qualify to get those 2 races that will make him eligible to run in the Wild West Futurity trials. And I've always found that to be kind of an interesting thing because how do we? It's hard to compare. It's hard to compare the audio runners from, let's say, Jerome and Pocatello, Turf Paradise, Grants Pass is an up and coming racetrack. A lot of really nice horses are there. Some familiar names like Danny Montes, Hector Magallanes, Rod Lowe, who campaigns a nice stakes winner here at Los Alamitos. There's a lot of nice quarter horse racing happening at Grants Pass.
Yeah, and this is race number 10, 350 yards, like you mentioned. Some of these runners, it's tough to kind of compare the form or how they fit here, but anytime you can make it to the finals of the Ruidoso Futurity and compete very well, you're probably going to be well met. And we're talking about Swimming for Tricks there for Monte Rosa. Before we talk about Swimming for Tricks, let's catch up with Luke Lindsey talking about CM Blue Bayou there in the barn at Los Al.
We're here with trainer Luke Lindsey, a gentleman that has become a mainstay here at Los Alamitos with some nice horses. And this Saturday night, you have CM Blue Bayou going in the Plan Handicap. So for horses that have raced in the Intermountain region, Northwest, Canada, Nevada. This fellow here ran in the at Grants Pass, running third in a Constellation Stakes. Now comes back here for this race. How do you see his chances on Saturday night against a pretty competitive race?
Well, like I said before, you never know how to judge the horses coming from the different regions, but he went to Oregon and the Firecracker Fraternity was real tough this year with 7 trials, and he just missed getting in, run real solid. I come back and had a little trouble in the Constellation, lost a shoe, but you know, he came right back here and has been here settled. I got to work I got another work from the gate with him. You know, I expect him to run pretty good.
Tell us a little bit about your background. How long have you been a trainer?
I've been in the business my whole life. My dad was a trainer, still is a trainer, but he was training for a living while I was growing up in the Blue Mountain Circuit in Washington, Oregon, and Montana. And you know, I fell in love with it from the beginning. It's been part of my life my whole life. And I worked to get here, came here with Nick Lowe as an assistant. Nick left when I stayed. Started running my own horses and trying to hang out and stay here.
And you form a solid partnership with owner, breeder Randy Dickerson. He's has a lot of really good horses that have competed and won stakes races here at Los Alamitos.
Yes, and he's got really nice horses, and he's a small breeder from back home, and he pays attention, does his homework, and giving me an opportunity to train. And we have a good friendship and good partnership, and things are going pretty good. This is my first crop this year with his babies. Just recently ran second in the fraternity a couple weeks ago, so we're excited about running for the Wild West. This is just prep for the Wild West, so that was our main goal.
Yeah, absolutely, and he's had horses in that race before, many times. Yeah, just going back and forth. You know, when you go to Grants Pass, coming back here to Los Alamitos, what are the joys and the challenges that presents?
Well, there's a lot of challenges considering, but you know, it's hard to be in both places. So Danny Montez helped me out, and Hector Malianas.
That's
they
right.
both helped me out. Danny took the horse down there, and I flew in, and we ran it, and we worked as a team. And, you know, a lot of us kind of have to do that together. So that's a challenge. And just getting the 2 outs, getting back here safe and sound. That's a challenge in its own, and then moving forward from that point.
All right, congratulations. Best of luck on Saturday night, the Plan Handicap with CM Blue Bayou.
There was Luke Lindsey, Orlando, talking about CM Blue Bayou. It was cool to hear how he got started. It's pretty much a whole life. He's been involved his whole life, tracing back to his father. He's now partnered with owner Randy Dickerson, who's had some very good runners over the years here at Los Al. And they got this one, CM Blue Bayou, Oregon bred, who went up to Grants Pass, good second, and then good third in that final over there. He looks like a runner that is starting to improve race by race.
Yeah, and Jose, it's not often that you see a comment, continuous sideways bumping.
Yes.
One time that he ran here at Los Alamitos, May 21st, I got to give a little tip of the hat there for George Duarte.
George Duarte, yeah.
Pretty creative comment, continuous sideways bumping. That's exactly what was happening to CM Blue Bayou, unfortunately, for the connections there. But, good to see him go up to Grants Pass and run some nice races up there, finished third in Constellation to the Firecracker Futurity. That's what Luke Lindsey mentioned. And now back here at Los Alamitos, had a nice workout here. And the beginning of that work was pretty interesting because the rider did an excellent job staying on CM Blue Bayou when the horse broke really hard into the inside. Yeah. And the jockey kind of lost his balance a little bit there. But from there, it was a nice finish to the work from the rider and from CM Blue Bayou. Yeah,
by the magic of technology, Orlando, here's the workout. Watch how sharply he's going to veer inwards. Whew, his rider did a good job of staying aboard there. But once he gets out, even though he veers in, he gets out with good energy. And I like how professional he stayed the rest of the drill.
Absolutely.
He just pretty straight, kept good strides. So aside from that veering in, which can be a problem, the rest of the drill was pretty solid.
Yeah, and every time I see Randy Dickerson's names on these horses, he campaigned a super nice horse by the name of CM Boom Shakalaka,
Yes.
the stakes winner here at Los Al. So he's got some really nice runners. He's got some really nice runners that compete here at Los Al, and looking forward to seeing CM Blue Bayou hopefully put behind that really troubled effort maiden race and kind of continue that nice form that he's had at Grants Pass here in the Plan Handicap.
Yeah, so in the first local start here, he veered in at the start and then exchanged bumps and then was just bumping every step of the way. We saw that might be a little bit of a bad habit, Orlando. We'll have to see if he can correct that moving in at the start. But you can see there's talent, and he's got room to improve there. That is going to be CM Blue Bayou in the featured event, the Plant Overnight Handicap. Another of the few runners that are coming in from Intermountain are going to be from Pocatello, most notably Zooming for Tricks, Jim Walker Family Trust there, bred this one. 4 to begin the career.
That's a tremendous breeding line
Yes.
Jim Walker has put together. Of course, he is the breeder of Zooming for Spuds and Apolitical Patty, major Grade 1 winners here at Los Alamitos from the great breeding line of Jim Walker.
Yeah, 4 to begin the career, won a futurity easily at Jerome. And based on the chart calls over there, it seems like she's a pretty good gate horse overall. You don't win 4 races in a row by not being a good gate horse. And last time out was third best in the bitter futurity there at Pocatello. But she's a filly that comes in with good form. Top barn Monte Rosa. You get the likes of you get to lure the top leading rider in Ruben Lozano.
Yeah, and the same sire, Zooming for Bucks. That sire, Zooming for Spuds. So you know, breeder Jim Walker knows these lines extremely well. There's another horse from the Monte Rosa barn here that's a stakes winner. That's Radar. He won the Crush the Curve Futurity Pocatello Downs by a half a length. Solid win, a good time, 15:56. But it's kind of a head scratcher to me, Jose, that in his next out, 350 yards, went 18:46. That must have been some type of crosswind.
Yes.
11 miles an hour, because this horse certainly has the quality, has speed, and then to run 18:46, that must have been just some headwind.
And a little bit of a reading in between the lines. I kind of was looking at this April 20th workout, April 20th, and then April 20th for Zooming for Tricks there, also April 20th. He went 12:4, she went 12:20, and Radar worked 12:40. So same date. I'm kind of thinking they might have worked together that morning. Yeah. And it looks like Zooming for Tricks outworked that one way back when. And now they have started, they have developed their tricky inside post, but Radar 2 for 2 with beginning the career with winning the Crush the Curve Futurity. But last time out with that crosswind, that crosswind might have had a factor there in that time on July 16th. Another one of the horses coming in is Mr. Big. Mr. Big for now in the barn of Jose Flores, owner Diego Cruz there. This one qualified to the Desert Classic Futurity at Turf Paradise last time out, Orlando.
And had a nice workout August 7th here for Jose Flores. Pretty solid work all around. In this horse, early ability. And again, the Desert Classic Futurity, $61,000 on the line. That's a lot of money that you're going to see some of the top young Arizona bred, Arizona area horses competing. There's this work right there for Mr. Big here at Los Al.
Yeah, Mr. Big. This was August 7th for Mr. Big, clocking of 12:50. He's going to break fast on the inside of this 2T set, Orlando. Quickly opens up about a length of the work rate, but look at the rider. The rider's actually leaning backwards, not really asking at all there.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a pretty easy workout. It was more about getting him straight down the racetrack, getting him to break well, which he did. So that 12:50 clocking could have been much faster there with a little bit more encouraging.
Yeah, I thought the horse was, looks a little antsy there, and he was maybe a little green early on, and I think that's where the rider right here just grabs a good hold of him, just gonna send them down the lane there. The opponent during this work, a horse by the name of KW, but well in hand, Mr. Big a nice big win here in this work. So we'll see. Again, it's kind of hard to gauge that sixth place finish in the Desert Classic Futurity. It could be better than a win, than a win at another track.
Yeah, so that is Mr. Big. 3 starts in Arizona, making the first start under the lights here at Los Al at nighttime. In Arizona, they ran a daytime. Orlando, that's a good, yeah.
My second pick in this race, actually, Jose, sorry to interrupt, was this Hopeful Blue.
Ooh.
That's the horse that I actually picked second.
All right.
When I made my picks. Obviously, zooming for Tricks is the top choice. Looks like the horse to beat. But I like the 3, Hopeful Blue, coming off of a third-place finish in the California Breeders' Freshman Stakes. So has had the experience of racing here at Los Alamitos, has run 3 times here at Los Al, ran a futurity trial against Favorite Honey, who qualified to a major stakes race here at Los Al. I believe that would have been a trials to the Governor's Cup Futurity. Ran fourth in a race that included the Governor's Cup Futurity winner. She goes up. So Hopeful Blue, 4-1. Martha Wells, Matt Fails. I think this horse is a pretty good chance. If she's right, to maybe upset the horse that looks so super tough, the 5, zooming for Tricks. 4-1 odds on the 3, Hopeful Blue.
And she had previously worked 12:20 back on May 21st, which was in between tracks, right? She came from Arizona, did a workout of 12:20, came back with a pretty good fourth, was only 3-1. And then the efforts have kind of improved. Last time out, she finished third at 63-1, Orlando. 63-1 last time out in that stakes event there on August 1st.
That's right. Yeah, so there you go again. There's a horse that pretty sharp. We know what the horse can do here. Didn't show much at Turf Paradise, but there he is. There she is. A horse that I think will be right in the thick of the action here in this fun race, the Plan Overnight Handicap. And again, this race is setting up these horses for the Wild West Futurity Trials later. I believe early October will be those trials.
It is going to be September 26th. So the last week of September, Orlando. See, I got it handy. That's why I have it handy right here. It worked out. There's our beautiful Los Alamitos calendar. Wild West Futurity Trials on September 26th. Kind of a look ahead, Orlando. PCQHRA Breeders' Derby and Futurity Trials on the 11th and 12th. And then we start talking Millie Vessels. Then we start talking Los Alamitos Wild West Futurity. And then we have the weekend of the finals. Yeah, the horse show and the finals there. The first weekend of October. That was a quick look there at Saturday night's program. Thank you for getting all those interviews in the barn, Orlando. The interviews from the barn are hot. They've been delivering good results in the last few weekends, Orlando.
Yeah, let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. And we got to remind our fans as well. It's a big weekend of racing on the national level. The All-American Derby and Futurity at Ruidoso Downs take place this Sunday and Monday, Labor Day. And Los Alamitos will have both of those huge races as part of our simulcast schedule on Sunday and Monday during the afternoon. And the Nightlines program on Saturday will feature all the PPs for both the All-American Derby and the All-American Futurity. Just some outstanding runners. To mention the All-American Derby number 2, Impressum. Undefeated this year, and she's looking to win all 3 major Grade 1 derbies at Ruidoso Downs. Looking to win the Ruidoso Derby, the Rainbow Derby, and the All-American Derby. Just that would be pretty historic for her to do. And of course, on Labor Day Monday, another horse going for a Triple Crown.
Yes.
Dutch Masters 3, Just Saving Candy, looking to sweep the All-American Futurity to add to the Rainbow and the Ruidoso Futurity special effort. The only horse to have swept all 3 of those races.
Yeah, Just Saving Candy, 7-5 on the morning line. Will be breaking from gate number 7. And throughout the weekend, there's horses that we know here from Los Al competing over there. In the finals, we have Cat Eye Kylie also there in gate 10, facing off with the big favorite in the All-American Futurity. Powerful Favorite is out there. Chisholm is out there. Favorite Dog is out there. So plenty of horses that race here locally. In Hot Pursuit was a big favorite to win The juvenile there, the consolation. Mi Amor Secreto, who finished second in the Champion of Champions a few years back, he's in that card. So tremendous weekend card there at Ruidoso to close out their season in style.
Absolutely. So a fun weekend of racing here at Los Alamitos. A fun weekend of racing on a national level with the All-American Series. And hope that the fans join us. Hey, look at this place right here, Burgos.
Right there.
Perfect spot to hang out this weekend and enjoy all the national racing action day and night.
Orlando, do you know our post time for Saturday night?
7:10 p.m. Jose. 7:10 p.m. for the 10 race program. Don't have the overnight yet for Sunday, but I know we'll have some nice allowance quarter horse races happening on Sunday, and looking forward to what should be a great weekend of racing here at Los Alamitos Racecourse.
Thanks for all the preview, Orlando. Good to talk over the card with you as always, and thank you for showing off a little bit of Burgard to see what fans can come enjoy out at Los Al. Orlando, we'll talk to you next week.
Thanks so much, Jose. We'll see you on TVG.
See ya.